live.
Live.
TGI. Thank God it's Friday, which I know for a lot of our clients out there, it's just another day. There is no weekend being a nurse or a healthcare worker.
Isn't that kind of indicative of society, like how we're going? Like
Oh,
life is
totally.
fluid, work and life and everything all flows together.
Well, that's what I always hear from, I guess, people that I've admired through the years. They say there is no work-life balance. There's work-life integration. You know?
Yes.
So I don't know.
Because balance means
Who
different things.
knows?
And balance means different things at different points of your life too, right?
Yeah, exactly. We go through phases.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm going through a snacking phase.
Are you?
As we segue right into easy snack hacks for results.
Easy snack hacks.
Don't you love that title?
Brilliant. I wonder who thought of it, but
it was you. No, you can take all the credit.
Right.
So we're talking about snack hacks today. This is probably one of the most asked questions I've gotten over the years. What do I eat between my meals? Or I have no time to eat my meals because I'm, running, I'm on a busy floor, whatever it is. So what we will get to shortly is the famous snack guide that we've already created. We'll give this resource to you. Easy, quick things. Now, these things aren't very high in micronutrient. We'll also show you some things to look out for, but they are high in protein and taste good, which if we think about adherence, taste is probably one of the most important things. So we do it long term. But we don't just want to stop there and say, hey, take this, bye. We want to dive in deeper and give you a lot more than that. So, Rachel, what would be some of the things that come to mind? What are some of these snack hacks, if you will?
Snack hacks.
And let's start with the grocery store, because I know we were talking a little bit about that. So I think we all have the best intentions when we go to the grocery store. We come back, we got all these vegetables. Maybe we have I don't know, I'll use vegetables as an example, fruit. But inevitably, it's the middle of the week. We're tired. We don't want to take the time to cook these things. So what are some things that we can do when coming home from the grocery store so that we can have better options, right?
Yeah. Well, and I like to think of when I go to the grocery store, if I'm timing it all out, it's, the grocery store plus what happens after the grocery store. So it's not just grocery store, get the bags in, put all the groceries away, done.
Yes.
It's bring it home. And then what can you do to prep some of the things that you bought? So that's part of the grocery shopping. It's not separate than. So one of the things that I started doing is when I buy vegetables, here's two different reasons. One is a snack reason. One is I think salads taste so much better if you're just putting stuff on top of your lettuce and it's already prepped, it just feels like it is easier. But the snack hack is, let's say you bought some vegetables. So you have some celery, you have some broccoli, you have some cauliflower, you bought it, again, all the best intentions.
Right. That's always how it goes.
If you actually want to eat them, I've actually started prepping them. So just cutting them up into little florets or little stalks and having them in an open bowl in my refrigerator. So when I go to the refrigerator thinking, I'm super hungry, I need a snack, open it up. The first thing I see is those vegetables.
Okay.
So, it does a couple things for me. One, it causes me to think, am I actually really hungry? So it just gives me that one little pause to say, I'm actually really hungry.
Yes.
And two, if I am, great, then it's a really quick grab and go because I can just grab a couple of pieces of broccoli or a couple of pieces of cauliflower, snack on that. And then I get my snacking because sometimes we just need to chew something. I get my snack I get that fix from those things that, one, are giving me those micronutrients, two, so they're not a lot of calories in there, but it's still it still gives me that fix.
Yeah. And I feel like this segues really well into what we've already covered in the last few weeks as far as priming environment. You had talked at length about this in the previous weeks, but just to say again, a lot of times we take actions simply because they're easy options. Think about it, right? I'll actually, this morning was a perfect example. My wife yesterday or 2 days ago, I can't remember exactly, but she made brownies and they were sitting on the counter. No lie. This morning, I get up, And I walk into the kitchen and I see them, they're covered under this like, paper towel or whatever. And I'm like, I had the moment of pause where I was like, oh, that's so easy. I can just grab one of those. But I'm like, wait, it's the morning. I'm not going to eat a fucking brownie. And I like went to go do my thing. But if I didn't have that habit, it's just so easy to grab. And what you're really saying too is setting up your environment. Okay, you open the fridge, which is maybe already an existing habit. It's like, okay, cool. I'm not saying you can't eat, maybe something sweeter or salty or whatever. But hey, have the things that are eye level, like they do in the grocery store, have the things that are right in front of you, the best options. And then sure, like this is what my wife does. Either I have a personal rule. I don't bring any stuff that is like not optimal for me in the house. I can eat it all day long. I just can't eat it in the house. Why do I set it up like that? Because I don't eat out that often. So when I do, even if I ate like crap every time I ate out, I'd still be 80% on. Perfect. What my wife does, she says, all right, I'm still going to bring some in the house, but she hides it because if I see it, I'm going to eat it all. But she does, she puts it, again, she's not hiding it from herself. She's making it less accessible. So what she sees first is what you're talking about, the vegetables. She sees better snack options. She sees, whatever, yogurt, so that it's so much easier to make those choices. But if you see that and you're like, I really don't want that. Cool. 20% of the time, go reach into the back and grab whatever. That's okay. And I think that's a little reminder for everyone out there as well. If you are watching, feel free to drop a comment, say hello. I can see your eyeballs. I know you're here. Like this video, more people will see it. But you don't have to be perfect. There is no perfect. If anything, this perfect mentality, perfectionism, is what is going to do the number one thing we're trying to avoid, which is fill you with guilt and stop you. Right? So allow yourself this 20% of freedom. Or just look, even if you're 50-50 right now, 50% of the time you're doing stuff that's healthy, 50% you're not, 40-60. Give yourself 40% of like, we'll call it non-optimal foods. Remember, it doesn't matter, like there is no 100%. It's just slightly better today than you were yesterday, right?
Well, and I think it's about building those synapses and rewiring our brains about that. And for me, that extra pause of having that stuff right in front of me just gives me that extra just that extra second to be like, okay, what choice do I actually want to make? I still get to make the choice about what I'm going to put in my mouth, but it just gives me that extra, I have to take an extra breath.
Yes. I think that's really powerful.
Yeah. I mean, and I think, so it's in the refrigerator, or you talked about having brownies on the counter, what can you put on the counter that you like? Is it cherry tomatoes? Is it bananas? Is it like, what is it that, and I'm trying to think of like the lower calorie things that you can just pop a couple, because we have this thing where sometimes you just want to eat something. So great. You have 3 cherry tomatoes when you're doing the drive-by in the kitchen.
Drive-by. I like that. The drive-by. I want to add to that really quick. We had a comment come in as well. I can't see who said it. I'll have to refresh the page. But I think the best thing, if you're wanting sweets, the like best value calories to actual sweetness has got to be berries, in my opinion, at least. So much so that it's like the go-to, or had been the go-to for a lot of my clients for a very long time, late at night, where what they would do is they do a berry medley. So whatever your favorite berries are, don't overthink it. Strawberry, blueberry, blackberries, raspberries, whatever is your favorite, doesn't matter. It's going to be plus or minus 10 or 30 calories. And then you take 0 calorie Cool Whip or whipped cream and you douse it. Ooh, baby. Now, of course, maybe it's got some ingredients in there that aren't the most optimal for your health, but a regular Sunday's worse, probably. So, hey, it's all good. Again, you don't have to be perfect. You could also do like the 0 calorie fudge, which I don't like fudge. So you can play that game if you want. But it's like 150 calories for like a bowl. Like, I'm not talking like, oh, yeah, here's your little dessert, spoon. Right. It's like, no, this is like a heaping, and this will fill you up. So it's like, damn, that's only 10% of your calories for the day, maybe, probably less, 5 to 10%. And it really fulfills that craving for sweetness. Yeah. And especially if you're, go ahead, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, especially if you're coming from using desserts often, this is a really good segue And I'll be honest, like I always eat something after dinner, always, but it's usually things that are just, I'll say lower calorie, more natural. So like I do the berry medley. I'll do there's these watermelon pops that I like to get.
Mhm.
I think they're from Outshine, and they're like, good stuff. It's like just watermelon and maybe not a lot of added sugar. It's like 40 calories, and I eat like 2 of those bad boys, and I'm like, I'm good, man. Like, I don't want a third one. 2 even feels a little indulgent, but it's fantastic. I could eat that every single day. Paige says hi. Paige, welcome to the group as well. I see you're new. Lisa says, plus berries have a lot of fiber and antioxidants. Yes, I mean, berries are fantastic. And this is crucial. I know that I've had some conversation with people sometimes where, right, they're trying to be super optimal, and they've heard people say, oh, fruit like is hidden sugar, right? Like you're gonna gain weight from eating too much fruit. And like, in theory, is that possible? Yeah, of course, right? If you're not in a caloric deficit, you will gain weight. However, I've never seen somebody consistently eat too much fruit resulting in a caloric surplus.
Unless you like have like 7 bowls of like banana ice cream or something.
Yeah, it's not the banana that does you in. It's the banana paired with the chocolate, paired with the peanut butter, paired with the ice cream, right? So fruit is not the enemy. Fruit is great. And like, if we're starting with the end in mind anyway, you're probably going to want a micronutrient diverse diet so that you can have great organ health and longevity and all that stuff. So if you're going to cut it out while you lose weight just to reintroduce it later, why not just lose weight with it, right? And just make that happen. So
well, and I love the berries, and I think about all kind of the frozen things like the little snacks, the frozen snacks that I have like in my freezer right now. I do have frozen grapes, and I know some people like roll them in sugar or things. I actually just freeze the grapes, and again, because then I can have some, because I love grapes, but I eat them slower because you just can't eat them as quickly, right? And then it's a little bit of a, feels like a little bit of a treat. But the other thing that I sometimes do too is take a banana and slice it up. And then you can dip it in if you want to, you can just have the frozen banana just like that. But I like to just dip it in a little bit of dark chocolate and then freeze it like that. And you can freeze it in a sheet pan. And then once it's frozen, you can just put them in little baggies. So then you can have like 3 or 4 little banana slices with a little bit of, chocolate on there. It's, less than 50 calories. And for me, again, it's the sweet, it's the chocolate, and it takes a little longer to chew, like, because it's frozen. So
that's funny. We'll have to do another podcast about dark chocolate. I've been nerding out a little bit over dark chocolate and olive oil lately. And just like, because obviously I'm sure people watching are familiar, like olive oil has great health benefits. Dark chocolate has great health benefits, but they're not all made equal. Dark chocolate, I can't remember everything, but I was doing research recently and it was talking about, if I was like, I'm very framework. I like to think in frameworks. So I was trying to break it down into levels. So it's like, maybe the first level is like, all right, chocolate, milk chocolate. It's like, okay, cool. Is there some benefit there? Maybe, but very, very low. Next level is, okay, dark chocolate. Next level is like, super dark, 80% cacao. The next one is like, I'm trying to think of it's been a while, maybe a week since I was looking, but like maybe absent of like polyphenols.
Phenols,
And like, it was kind of interesting. And then similarly with olive oil. But anyway, I'm not an expert in those things. I'm still learning. So that's
and for me, the bananas, I can use like the darkest, like I buy like almost 90% cacao, or sometimes I have the whole cacao, which is fine because you get a little sweetness of the banana and then you get the chocolate plus, and I like the bitter, like that taste anyway. So, but.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, Amanda says, good morning. Amanda, hey. Oh, hey, welcome to the team, Amanda. Morning, I saw that you joined, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but I recognize your name. Welcome. Great to have you.
Yeah, I mean, I think, going back to your thing too, just about priming your environment. So it's about, making sure that you have all of those options available for you. So like, I even think about buying nuts. I love nuts, and I think it's a great addition to any diet, but it's not like you can have like two big handfuls. You get to, you have to measure it out a little bit. So, buying those little snack baggies and measuring it out, again, part of your grocery shopping thing, so that you buy the nuts, you portion them out into snack size pieces. Some of the protein stuff too, if you'd like to do the little pickle roll-ups with your, some meat or with something.
Yeah.
I mean, just making sure that you are like prepping that.
I love those.
And again, prepping it, and Ryan, as you said too, putting that in the front then of the refrigerator. So when you go into the refrigerator, you're getting that, and putting the other things in there, but maybe you have to reach, like your wife does, we have to reach behind to get
Right. They're not in plain sight.
Right there. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's amazing how even just that one action can reduce your frequency of snacking on non-optimal things by 50%.
Yeah.
Just like so simple, so easy.
And again, not to go, I mean, you said too, and this again is not to, it's all kind of about the mindset, and this is not to guilt anybody wanting to have whatever they want to have. But somebody told me once, unless you're hungry enough to eat celery, maybe not hungry.
That's a great point.
So think about that. So that's, again, and I started then putting those things in the front of my refrigerator. So if I really am wanting something, great, you have like 5 celery stalks. And if you really are hungry, eat then. I mean, you need to listen to your body, but often we're not hungry. We just want to snack on something.
Yeah, it's habit, it's distraction. A lot
and if you need to put it in a little bit of, like, sometimes I have like the baby carrots, and sometimes I just want something salty. Fine. I pour a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of salt, dip this, the carrots in there, and then I get a crunchy, salty treat.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that's a great point too. And we can dive maybe a little bit or talk a little bit about salt as well. Salt is not the enemy. Like, I get it if you're, wanting to monitor your salt intake because your doctor told you to. Hey, I get it. But as long as you're healthy, you don't have any maybe blood panels that would suggest otherwise, have your salts. Sometimes when we think health, we think, oh, I got to reduce my salt intake because, trying to be healthy. And a lot of times our sodium requirement, which is a necessary micronutrient, goes under where it should. And your body does this really interesting thing when it doesn't get the nutrients it should. It craves them. Mm-hmm. So that potato chip you crave could be the fact that you're craving the fat in the chip, but it also could be that you're craving the salt. And sometimes, as long as you're just adding in that salt, either from snacking, or I just do it directly to my meals. Like, I remember, whatever. The point is, I salt my meals. So like, I salt those meals. You could even salt some snacks, whatever it is. You don't have to go crazy and eat a pound of salt a day, but that will reduce your craving alone. Well,
and sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Ryan, but
no.
we are really talking about drinking more water. So the more water you drink, you do need more salt because you need the electrolytes. Because of that, I mean, that is a biological function. As you know, you need salt and potassium in order to get the water into your cells. So if you're drinking more water, of course you need a little bit more, not a lot, again, not like tons, but you don't need 2 gallons.
I used to go crazy. I remember I read an article a long time ago, not to go too far on a tangent, but I was reading a article. It wasn't a study because it was anecdotal. It was just some guy that was doing this. But he was working with a doctor that specialized in spinal surgery. So he was very familiar with the discs in your back. And one of the things that they found, I don't remember how they tested this. So again, it was a while ago. It was probably years ago that I saw this. But the takeaway I got from that article was he was talking about how there's this process that happens with hydrating the discs in your spine. It's called hyperhidrosis, I guess. And that only happens last, meaning your body will use water for everything else, right? It'll go to your muscles, it'll go to your organs, whatever. It goes to your spine and fills up your discs and gives it even more cushion last. Now, I'm not a spine expert. That could be totally wrong, but I thought that was interesting. And I was doing a lot of impact stuff at the time. I was doing martial arts and jumping a lot and all that stuff. And I was like, all right, cool. And that's when I started really increasing my water intake. And then I noticed that when I did increase my water intake so high, I was like, oh my God, I'm having to put salt on everything.
Yeah.
I'm not drinking Gatorade or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And just drink salt, or not drink salt, but you get it. Um,
I get it.
yeah, yeah, it's kind of interesting. A little side tangent there, but back to snacking for a
Yeah.
second. So this idea with nuts too, like nuts can be fantastic for micronutrients. I eat nuts every single day.
Yeah, I do too.
I do. Now, with that in mind, that doesn't mean that it's in line with a physique goal. Because remember, when we're thinking about nuts, those are going to be the highest, we'll say, highest calorie for how full you feel in a lot of cases. Now, they will have some of that salt on there, so they'll probably curb your craving. But nuts don't equal, weight loss. And if anything, if we were just focusing on just physique and not on performance and not on health, I would say, yeah, don't eat nuts. It's not worth it. Now, there's a caveat to throw into that, right? Again, I eat nuts every day. So does Rachel. Ask yourself, how much do you enjoy nuts? Because some people just eat nuts because they feel like that's healthy, or they think that's healthy, which it is. But health doesn't equal weight loss, right? Now, what we do want to do is, and this can take a little bit of test and iterating, but you want to create a plan that gets you the maximal results for physique, maximal results for health, and maximal results for performance based upon you. And that's going to be different depending on who you are. For me, I don't know, what's something healthy that I hate? I don't know. Nothing
I
really
hate
comes to
cooked
mind.
carrots.
You cook carrots, you don't like?
Carrots.
Okay. So let's just say that was the most healthy food in the world. Yeah, we're probably not going to put that, or Rachel's not going to put that in her plan and force herself to do it. Why? Because her adherence goes down. So the number one thing is just learning about what you naturally like, and then putting that through the lens of how to maximize your physique, your health, and your performance, which we should be looking at all three things. And I would say too, one of the biggest hacks, as a little side tangent, if you're obsessing about physique and you're obsessing about the number on the scale as you're on this journey, shift your focus to, it's hard to shift it to health markers, but it's easier to shift it to performance because that's easily quantifiable. I recommend, I've had clients in the past like Kim or Carla, Carla specifically, who went on to lose over 120 pounds, get back into red bikini. Awesome. Past the first 20 pounds, we threw out her scale. And the reason for that was she had a performance goal. And a performance goal was she wanted to run a marathon. Now, at the time, she had never even ran a 3K because she had knee pain and all this stuff. But long story short is when she would weigh herself, even though her performance goals were improving and her health markers were improving, and she was objectively looking better, her weight would be going down not as fast as she wants, and she'd feel like garbage, and she would contemplate quitting. So what we did was we eliminated that stimulus. We threw her scale out. And I said, don't weigh yourself. If you weigh yourself, I'm not going to coach you. And that was the ultimatum. So she stopped weighing herself. We did it once a quarter, once every 3 months. And we started tracking performance goals. And it was cool because every week she would improve on some performance goal. She'd improve the weight she was squatting. She'd improve her ability to do a single leg squat or a whatever movement of squat. She would improve her running time. Her cardio would be getting better. So guess what? It's easier to create positive feedback loops when every time you do an action, you get rewarded. Imagine if you do all these actions, and this is why a lot of people stop on their journey. You do an action, you test, you step, and you're not rewarded. And now you create a negative feedback loop. And we can only take so much pain and willpower through things before we're like, screw this. Right. And that's why a lot of people stop their journey, is because they're measuring the wrong way.
And I just wanted to make a little side note that performance goals don't necessarily even have to happen in the gym or on the track or running, right? Performance goals. So I have a client that she was saying that she's got these trees that she needs to pot, but they didn't pot them before it snowed. Yes. And so then they're moving them in and out of the garage and they're doing all these things. And she's like, I couldn't do it before. She's like, now I can just lift them and walk with them. So, I mean,
that's awesome.
Yeah. And her husband was like, what is happening? She's like, well, I'm getting stronger and lighter, but I'm getting stronger. So performance goals can be, I just wanted to make that note, that performance goals don't necessarily always have to happen in the gym. We can notice those in just life activities too.
Of course. I mean, I to piggyback on that really quick, I know too, Alyssa says, who's new to the group. Hey, Alyssa, good to see you. She said, I wish I liked nuts. Maybe you just got to try different nuts. I don't know if you've tried every single nut there is out there. And that's okay. But oven roasted almonds are really good. versus like all natural almonds. I'll eat those too, but oven roasted, so much better with a little bit of salt. But to piggyback on that, yeah, I mean, I as well, like as you do, right? All of our nurses are all of our clients are nurses, healthcare workers. I can't tell you how many times I had a message checking my inbox in the morning that was like, for the first time in years last night, I was able to lift a client up or a patient and not have any pain. Or like I was really ready to like, to strain lifting this person up. And I just picked him up and plopped him down. And I was like, oh, it's surprising, and I mean, that's what I don't want to say that's what it's all about, but improving life is what we're trying to do. Right. And it's not just about, how you look, although that's, a big part of it, peace of mind. Anyway.
We got a long way from snacking, didn't we?
What? Nah. It's all related.
I mean, it is all related. It is all
I'm going to drop the link too, just in case anyone's out there and they haven't gotten the snack guide yet. I'm going to throw this in the comment section below. Again, these things aren't very high micronutrient. This list is created if your main goal is physique and you're like, yeah, I'll focus on my health goals later, or I'm going to get in other micronutrient foods. This isn't everything you should eat. These are just things that taste good, in my opinion, and some of our other coaches' opinion, that have high percentage of calories from protein. Therefore, you're going to stay full longer with less calories, so you can hit your weight loss goals faster. I'm going to drop that in the comments for you if anyone cares to have it. But all that to say, here are some easy snack hacks. If you're just tuning in.
Easy snack hacks. I mean, and I think, just to reiterate what we said is, making sure that you include, we always talk about meal prep, but we don't talk about snack prep, right? So that you don't necessarily need a meal prep right when you get back from the grocery store. But I do think snack prepping when you get back from the grocery store is something that we all can incorporate.
Definitely.
So whether that be the vegetables or the nuts or fruit or whatever. And then I think the snack hack is making your environment right, but making the environment, making it easy, like making that choice the first and easy choice.
Easy choice.
Not necessarily the only one, but making it the first and the easy choice.
Yeah, that's a great point. And actually, while we're talking about snacking, we'll talk about the second snack guide too. I want it to be known, and I say this, you're going to hear me always say this continually, because we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught, is you don't need to be perfect. Sometimes when we start these journeys, there's a lot of feeling of like, oh, I can't eat that, I can't eat this. But there is nothing off limits, in my opinion, when you're starting your journey and transforming your body. It all just depends on your goal, right? And that's why we created the Ultimate Interchangeable Snack Guide. I'll post this in the comments as well. But it's learning the difference between eating high volume foods and low volume foods and how they affect you. High volume foods, they're lower calories per volume, so you're going to stay fuller longer. Those are all the things are healthy, if you will. Lower volume foods, think higher calories per volume, generally taste better, but they don't keep you that full. They might be good for your soul, but they're not good for the waistline, if you will. So, these are just lists of high volume foods. And the crazy thing is, all of these are portioned out at 170 calories. So like 4 clementines, 4 cups of watermelon, 2 cups of buttered air pop popcorn, 5 cups of unbuttered air pop popcorn, right? All of these equal 170 calories. And yet you can go down to lower volume foods and see how, oh my gosh, only one brownie is 170 calories. Now, does that mean you can't eat the brownie? No, you can totally eat it. But what I'd probably recommend is pair it, right? Food pairing for snacking, if you will. This idea of, I really want that brownie. My husband, my wife, my mom, I made brownies. I want that brownie. But maybe instead of pairing the brownie with ice cream and having, 680 calories, which would be 4 snacks portions, instead you have that one brownie, and then you have 1 portion of Halo Top
or berries or something. Yeah.
Which is like a lower calorie ice cream, or maybe you do it with berries, or maybe you skip the brownie altogether and you do, regular ice cream with 3 cups of berries, which I know sounds insane. It's like, God, I can't eat that much food. It's like, good. That's what you want. You want to be full. You want to be like, I don't want to eat anymore. That's good. Now you don't feel deprived. It's funny. I remember, not to go too far off, but I remember there was this girl on TikTok that she was like the fruit queen, and she would like go over what she eats during the day, and a little lower protein than probably I'd recommend, but like she's like, I eat 5 cups of watermelon, followed by 4 oranges, followed by, and you add up the calories.
Bananas. And yeah, but
right,
still
you
not
add
that
up
many
the
calories, right?
It's not that many. But man, she was eating, her food volume was insane. I can guarantee you she was never hungry. She's like, I don't want to eat another friggin' bite of this. So it's all about just finding that sweet spot for you. What are the things that you enjoy the most that are, kind of lower calorie options? I'll drop that in the comments below in case anyone cares to have it. Let me know if that helps as well, guys, if you're here listening. We got a comment that came in as well. Before I read this comment, anything you'd like to add to that?
No, but yeah, don't be afraid of fruit. I'll just say that.
Definitely.
Do not be afraid of fruit.
Definitely. Paige says, my issue is I'm the pickiest eater in the world. With the hours I'm working 6-7 days a week as a nurse running a clinic, any and all help would be greatly appreciated. Yeah. So when it comes to being a picky eater, so like hypothetically, Paige, the first thing I'd look at is, okay, what are the foods you enjoy that have the highest protein? And I would start to create kind of this big 3. The big 3 things that you like to eat that are high protein. The reason this is crucial is because naturally, as you're having more protein, you are going to want less other craving things, right? You're going to want like less sweets and less, we'll say, I don't like the word junk food, but like non-optimal food. So that's where I'd start. And then like that combined with water. Paige, do you mind giving us even more context? But Rachel, what would be your advice there?
Yeah, I think, I would be making a list of all the things that I like, and then starting to see, could that be a snack? Could that, like looking at it in that way. But yes, first starting with a protein, but then also finding some sweet, something that you like, or knowing if you like the sweet or the salty, but having some options. And just like this is totally off topic, but like I talk about stress relief options. Like I like people to have their stress relief options on Post-it notes and put it like in their bathroom or in their kitchen. But it's also then having those options of, here are the 4 things that are snacks that are good for me. And either you have them so that you can see them, or you actually do have them in a Post-it note so that you take the decision fatigue out, so that you go to the kitchen, you see the little list. Here are the 4 options that I have. Great. Then you just pick one of them.
That idea with Post-it notes is very underrated. I think that's so powerful. And for the majority of people, and the reason being is, right, we live in a distraction culture. If you look at all social media, I mean, even this, right, you probably were doing something else, and then you got interrupted with a notification that said, hey, we're live, easy snack hacks. And you're like, okay, right. But like, that's just the culture we live in, is, we're just getting pulled consistently. So there's 2 things you can do with that. You can either change your environment to where that never happens, which is very hard and takes time. You have to turn off all notifications on your phone, and you have to, essentially get off social media for the most part. You have to like really quiet your life, which is not for everyone. And it's, you might feel like it's impossible at this point, so you don't start there. What you do instead is instead of trying to fix the system, you just go with it. So you say, okay, well, I'm going to I know I'm going to be interrupted by things. Let me interrupt myself with something that's going to empower me. Let me interrupt myself with something that's actually going to serve me. So this is right in the same vein as clients wanting to drink more water. And it's like, all right, well, I always forget. Cool, set alarms on your phone. Every 2 hours, every 3 hours, it goes off. Hey, drink 12 ounces, drink 8 ounces. Before you know it, you don't need it. It's habit. So kind of in that same vein.
Yeah. And I would say the one thing I would just say again about the post-its or about the alarms is that you
Yeah.
have to change them every once in a while, because
Ah.
once they're there for after a couple of weeks, you're just going to be like,
Yeah.
even on your phone, the alarms, you
Like,
have to change
nah.
the time. You're just like,
Yeah.
you're like, I know what this is ringing for, or you're just going to ignore it. So they're
Yeah.
super useful. Just make sure that every couple of weeks you change it up a little bit.
Yeah. Until the habit's made, right? I mean, ideally, ideally you get to the point, right? You don't need it. But yes, yeah. If you're like
Although I
Rachel
always
said,
have my mantras. I always have something up on my bathroom mirror.
yeah. Something you're
Mantra, so
focusing
gotta
on. I mean, I do too, right? Like
what's my like,
I have like my
or you're
board.
awesome, because I need to to be reminded.
I have my
Yeah.
board with my like
Yeah.
3 main focuses, I keep it really simple. Yeah, I'm the same
But I'm a
way.
big fan of Post-it. I mean, I am from Minnesota originally, so where they were invented, but I
Oh,
spent
really? I would have never known that.
3M invented
The Post-it.
the Post-it. I use
Wasn't
them
it made
all.
by accident too?
It was made by accident because they were trying to find some glue, and this one didn't. It wasn't
Didn't stick.
adhesive enough,
Yeah.
but it was adhesive so that it just enough. So yeah,
Wow. Funny. Well,
totally not. Post-it.
any questions before we wrap up as well? Any questions, comments? If you're here and this has been helpful, feel free to like this. I put so more people see it. I put 2 links to the snack guides, interchangeable snack guide, RN snack guide, in the comments below. You can check those out. And yeah, we'll wrap this up. Any closing thoughts to
No,
snack?
just in the comments too. Let us know if you have any either suggestions
Oh,
or
that's true.
questions about snacks. I'm happy to share a plethora, but I'm not the only one. Like a plethora, I love that word. But
It's a
other
great
people
word.
in the group too.
A myriad.
Everybody's got like a myriad of Everybody else has a myriad of suggestions as well. So, and that's what I love about this group is that we all, Ryan and I can sit and chat as forever probably. But it's about the beauty and the power of the group and all the suggestions in the group too. So feel free to leave some good snack suggestions down below.
Yeah, please do. And also, we always go back, especially Coach Rachel and myself, but even the other coaches that weren't on this podcast will go back and read the comments and comment if they have something to add. So feel free to ask questions as well, and we can serve you guys. Still on the mission to impact 100,000 RNs, have our little dent on healthcare. I can't believe we're already at 8,800 RNs as of this morning in the group. Wild. About to break 10,000 maybe this month. Who knows? But thank you guys for being here. And hopefully, whether or not we ever work with you in a coaching setting, hopefully we can have even just a very small impact. Great info. Thank you. Of course. Oh, we did have a question come in. Kathy says, I'm late. I tend to open the fridge for no reason to prevent me from eating junk food. What helps me with selecting good snacks is preparing fruits and veggies. Hey, yeah, what we talked about, hard-boiled eggs ready to grab in the fridge works the best for me and my family. Yeah, really well said. And I think perfectly summarized what we talked about for the majority
And
of
can
this.
I just say one thing about the hard-boiled eggs? Peel them, like actually have them in peeled, not just because, again, let's remove all the barriers.
Yes,
so
make it as easy as possible.
Peel them, make it as easy as possible, have them in there. I mean, you can have them in there in the peel too, but that's one extra step.
Yes, reduce as much friction as possible, eliminate as much of your headwinds as possible. Yeah, that's great. Sarah says, great info. Thank you. Our pleasure, Sarah. Welcome to the group, by the way. Sharon says, apple slices in peanut butter, hummus and veggies, Greek yogurt and berries. Love it, Sharon. Sharon, new to the group as well. Welcome in. The Greek yogurt, I think, is a really great one. And there's kind of a spectrum of Greek yogurt where you can go more the 000 route, where it's like super low sugar, high protein. And I mean, you can have that. And the berries are a great way to be able to, really increase your food volume. Really well said there, Sharon. I love that. I know that sometimes the peanut butter and the hummus can be a lot of calories in disguise, but great for health. So it's all about, right, if you're out there listening and you're like, all right, is peanut butter bad? Is hummus bad? There is no good or bad. It's just slightly more weighted towards health or slightly more weighted towards,
you
physique.
just have to know yourself. Like
hummus, and how much it's valuable.
That's a family size. That's like a Rachel size. So yeah, so I don't buy hummus very often.
Right. And like also just how much it's important to you. Like if you're like, ask yourself, how important is this food to me? If anything's above a 7 or 8, find a way to integrate it into your nutrition, into your daily or bi-daily nutrition. Otherwise, there's going to be a feeling of deprivation, and you cannot do this long term feeling like you're depriving yourself. It has to feel like you're just living your life. And the way you live your life is by allowing yourself to do the things you enjoy while just making essentially doing the actions that are the least painful for you that will yield the best result. Kathy says, yes, already peeled too. Let's go. I love that. Sharon says, I get plain Greek and put a scoop of protein in it to sweeten it. Whoa, you're going all in. That's fantastic. I mean, your protein's going through the roof, Sharon. I mean, you're probably looking at like 30 to 40 grams, depending on how much you're having per serving, essentially. I mean, that's brilliant. I've yet to really have a protein that I'm like, ooh, this tastes good with Greek yogurt, with plain Greek yogurt. I've tried a few of them, but Sharon, I'm curious which one you use.
Because there is some good stuff out there. So I've done that too. So great suggestion, Sharon.
Yeah, very good. Tanisha, or I think I'm saying your name, Tanisha. Yeah, I believe it's Tanisha. Welcome to the group, by the way, Tanisha. She says, how about fruit smoothies? Again, it's that balance between health and physique, right? Fruit smoothies, generally, right? You're drinking it, so it's a lot easier to eat. It's a lot easier to get the calories high. Now, that's not really going to help with physique too much, but health, fantastic in a lot of cases, as long as it's real fruit and it's not like, something masquerading as a fruit smoothie, but it's actually just,
but it's amazing how little fruit that you need to put into a smoothie to make it sweet. So one of the things because I used to put like a whole banana and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I do pack it full of like as much greens as I can. So I can get my greens in the morning, but you can get down to half a banana and it still tastes pretty sweet. So making sure that if it's not a fruit smoothie then necessarily, but you can add a little bit of fruit or some berries to have the sweetness, but try to focus on the greens. So that's
I love that. That's a great point. Like you can also hit you can maximize physique and health with just what Rachel said, 70% veggies, 30% fruit, or, find the combination that works well for your palate that you're willing to do. As long as it's not 100% fruit.
Well, and I think the thing too is to step it down. So as we talk about our palate changing, as we are making steps, I started out with like berries and a whole banana. Now I'm down to like a couple berries and a half a banana or a quarter banana again, but my palate has changed. So I don't mind the green taste in my smoothies anymore, but I didn't necessarily love it when I started. So it's about also the journey. Where you are today is not where you're going to be in 6 months or in 3 months. So so make sure that, anyway, that was a lot.
That's a really good point. No, I mean, that's a brilliant point. And to that too, I would say, one of the ways you can step up or down or whatever you want to say as well is slowly adding protein powder too. Not one that overpowers the taste of the whole smoothie. Maybe one that's a little, I feel like I'm talking about wine, lighter tones of vanilla or chocolate or whatever. And that can be a great solution as well, so that you can increase your protein. You'll be more fuller longer, but you'll still have that good micronutrient content from all of the vegetables, which is fantastic. Hopefully that answers your questions, Tanisha. Kathy says, thank you for all you do for nurses. Love this group. We're happy to have you here, Kathy. I think I can speak for the whole coaching team with, saying that we're happy to be here. Happy that you take the time to listen. We know there's a lot of things to listen to. We know there's a lot of places to be, but we just want to have make our little dent on healthcare. And we do that through you guys, right? If we can help you, you can help the patients, and, we have our little dent on healthcare. I know that sounds corny, but Sally says, wow, I made a live. What a way to start off my day. Let's go. Hopefully it was helpful. Oh, we had some other, had one more comment come in here. I can't see who it's from though. It was from Tanisha. She says, so I have a habit of making spinach, celery, raspberries, blueberries, and strawberries, but only drink 2 cups a day. I mean, that sounds great. I don't know the percentages, but the content sounds
delicious.
High volume, lower calorie, which is going to help you if you have a weight loss goal, and does sound good. I like it. All right, very good. As always, guys, if this was helpful, feel free to like this. It shows it to more people in the group because, believe it or not, not everyone even knows we do these. So you liking, commenting, and just being here watching, I guess, shows it to more people within this group. If you're interested in working with Coach Rachel or any of our coaches, I'll put a link somewhere. You can apply to work with us and schedule a call that interests you. And if not, that's cool too. Anything you want to add, Rachel? We good?
No, we're good. Happy Friday.
TGIF, guys.
Today, but happy Friday.
Yeah, enjoy your weekend. And if you need anything, just reach out to us. We're here to serve you. Bye.
Bye.